Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into something that might seem a bit dry at first glance, but trust me, it's packed with insights and surprises. We are talking about SEC schools ranked by SAT scores. Now, before you click away, hear me out. This isn't just about numbers, it's about what these numbers reveal about academic prestige, student demographics, and even broader trends in higher education. So, let's get started. First off, why does this matter? Well, SAT scores are often seen as a proxy for academic rigor and the caliber of students a university attracts. But here's the thing, they don't tell the whole story. Personally, I think it's fascinating how these scores correlate, or sometimes don't, with a school's overall academic ranking. Take Vanderbilt, for instance. It's the top-ranked SEC school in both SAT scores and academic prestige. No surprise there, right? But what many people don't realize is that Vanderbilt is a private institution, which sets it apart from the rest of the SEC's public universities. This raises a deeper question: how much does funding, selectivity, and institutional history play into these rankings? Now, let's talk about the University of Texas at Austin. It's right behind Vanderbilt in both SAT scores and academic rankings. One thing that immediately stands out is how UT Austin and Vanderbilt are almost like the SEC's academic powerhouses. But here's where it gets interesting: UT Austin has a significantly larger student body, over 43,000 undergraduates compared to Vanderbilt's 7,000. This makes me wonder, is it easier to maintain high academic standards with a smaller, more selective student population? Or does UT Austin's size actually contribute to its prestige by fostering a diverse and dynamic academic environment? In my opinion, it's a bit of both, but it's a nuance often overlooked in these rankings. Moving down the list, we start to see some intriguing patterns. Schools like the University of Florida and the University of Georgia have impressive SAT scores and academic rankings, but their tuition fees are surprisingly affordable, especially for in-state students. What makes this really interesting is how these schools manage to balance accessibility with academic excellence. If you take a step back and think about it, this could be a model for other public institutions aiming to elevate their academic profiles without pricing out their local communities. On the other end of the spectrum, we have schools like the University of Mississippi and the University of Arkansas, which rank lower in both SAT scores and academic rankings. But here's the thing, these schools still play a crucial role in their regions, offering accessible higher education to students who might not otherwise have the opportunity. A detail I find fascinating is how these schools' lower SAT ranges don't necessarily reflect a lack of quality but rather a different mission, one that prioritizes inclusivity over exclusivity. What this really suggests is that not all universities are competing in the same race, and that's okay. Now, let's talk about anomalies. Texas A&M, for example, has a massive undergraduate enrollment of over 60,000 students, yet it manages to maintain relatively high SAT scores and a solid academic ranking. Personally, I think this speaks to the university's strong institutional culture and resources. But it also raises questions about scalability. Can other schools replicate this model, or is Texas A&M an outlier? Another point worth discussing is the correlation between SAT scores and graduation rates. Schools like Vanderbilt and the University of Florida have sky-high four-year graduation rates, 90% and 83%, respectively, which align with their high SAT scores. But when you look at schools with lower SAT ranges, like Mississippi State, 46% graduation rate, or the University of Mississippi, 57%, it's clear that test scores aren't the only factor at play. From my perspective, this highlights the importance of institutional support, student resources, and even socioeconomic factors in student success. So, what's the bigger picture here? Well, If you ask me, these rankings are a snapshot of a much larger conversation about the purpose of higher education. Are universities meant to be exclusive bastions of academic excellence, or should they prioritize accessibility and inclusivity? Personally, I think it's a false dichotomy. The best institutions find ways to do both, but it's a delicate balance that requires intentionality and resources. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. As we dissect these rankings, let's not forget that behind every SAT score and graduation rate are real students with unique stories and aspirations. What these numbers can't capture is the impact these universities have on individual lives and communities. So, the next time you see a ranking like this, I encourage you to dig deeper and ask, what does this really mean, and for whom? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights like this. Let me know in the comments what you think about these rankings. Do they align with your expectations? Or did anything surprise you? I'll see you in the next one.